Near the bend of a wide, shimmering river, there stood a jungle so lush and alive that it seemed to breathe with its own rhythm. The trees rose tall and proud, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. Birds sang from hidden branches, monkeys leaped joyfully from vine to vine, and deer grazed peacefully in the open meadows. It was a forest filled with harmony. But in the center of this peaceful jungle lived a creature who believed harmony was weakness. He was the largest animal in the entire forest, a massive elephant with thick grey skin, towering tusks and ears that flapped like royal fans. His footsteps alone made the ground tremble. When he walked, leaves shook. When he trumpeted, birds flew away in panic. He knew he was the biggest, and he never let anyone forget it. "Move aside," he would roar when approaching the river. "The king of strength is here." The smaller animals would quickly scatter. Rabbits would hide behind bushes. Squirrels would climb higher into trees. Even the deer stepped back nervously. The elephant loved the way they moved aside. It made him feel powerful. Sometimes, just for amusement, he would scoop water from the river with his trunk and spray it onto passing animals. The monkeys shrieked when drenched. The birds fluttered wildly. The tiny creatures struggled under droplets that felt like crashing waves. And the elephant laughed. "Oh, don't look so frightened," he would say mockingly. "It is only a little water." To him, it was only a little water. To the others, it was humiliation. One afternoon, the rabbit gathered enough courage to speak. "Please," he said softly, "we all share this forest. You are strong, yes, but must you always frighten us?" The elephant lifted his head proudly. "I am strong because I was born strong. If you were stronger, perhaps you could do the same." The forest fell silent. The elephant did not see the sadness in their eyes. He did not hear the disappointment in their whispers. He believed power meant superiority, and he believed no one could challenge him. Not far from the riverbank, beneath a patch of dry soil and fallen leaves, lived a bustling colony of ants. They were small, organized, and tireless. Every day, long lines of them marched through the forest in search of food. Among them was one particular ant, diligent, thoughtful, and brave. Unlike many creatures who feared the elephant, the ant did not think much about him. He had duties to fulfill. His colony depended on him. One bright morning, the ant left the nest early, determined to gather enough food for the coming days. He walked carefully, avoiding puddles and cracks, navigating the enormous world from his tiny perspective. To him, blades of grass were towering pillars, pebbles were hills, fallen leaves were shelters, and elephants? They were mountains that moved. As he approached the riverbank, he saw the elephant drinking water. The massive creature sucked up gallons effortlessly. The ant decided to pass quietly. He had no quarrel with the giant. But the elephant noticed him. A slow grin formed across his wide face. "What is this?" The elephant chuckled deeply. "A tiny speck walking so boldly?" Before the ant could react, the elephant sucked up water and sprayed it forcefully toward him. For the elephant, it was playful. For the ant, it was disaster. The force threw him backward. He tumbled across the muddy ground, struggling to regain balance. Water soaked his body, pressing him against the earth. He gasped. "What are you doing?" the ant cried out. "It hurts when you hurl water on me." The elephant laughed loudly, his voice echoing across the river. "I can do whatever I want. Who are you to question me? I am stronger than you could ever imagine. Do not irritate me, or I will crush you beneath my foot." The ant stood still. He looked up at the enormous shadow towering above him. He felt small, but he did not feel defeated. Without another word, he turned and walked away. The elephant snorted. "Run along, tiny creature." But as the ant disappeared into the grass, something shifted quietly in the air. The jungle was watching. That afternoon, the ant continued his search for food. He found seeds, crumbs, and bits of fallen fruit. He carried them diligently, one by one, never once speaking of what had happened. But inside him, a fire burned. Not a fire of hatred, a fire of realization. The elephant believed size meant power. He believed fear meant respect. He believed small meant weak. The ant did not desire revenge for pride. He desired justice for dignity. When he returned to the colony, he did not tell the others what had happened. He simply stored the food and rested for a moment. The sun climbed high and the jungle grew warm. The elephant, after drinking and wandering, felt tired. He found shade beneath a large tree near the river. The ground was cool, the breeze gentle. He lay down comfortably. Soon his eyes closed, his breathing slowed. The forest grew quiet. The ant saw him, and he understood. This was not about anger. This was about a lesson. Slowly, silently, the ant approached the sleeping giant. Each step was careful, each movement precise. The elephant's trunk lay stretched on the ground, relaxed and open. The ant paused for only a second. Then he climbed, up the rough folds of grey skin, across the wide ridge of the trunk, and without hesitation he entered. At first, the elephant felt nothing. Then a tickle. Then irritation. He stirred slightly, flapping one ear. The ant crawled deeper, and then he bit. Hard. The elephant jolted awake with a thunderous roar. "What is this?" he trumpeted, shaking his head violently. Another bite. Sharp, sudden, painful. The elephant thrashed. He tried to swing his trunk. He tried to blow air forcefully. But the pain came from inside. He could not reach it. He could not see it. He could not crush it. "Stop! Stop!" he cried out desperately. The jungle gathered. The monkeys peered from branches. The deer watched from behind trees. The rabbits stood frozen. The mighty elephant was writhing on the ground. Another bite and another. The elephant screamed in agony. "Who is inside me?" A tiny voice echoed from within. "Who is helpless now?" The elephant froze. He recognized the voice instantly. "The ant, it is you." "Yes," came the calm reply. "The same tiny creature you threatened to crush." The elephant's pride crumbled. "Please," he begged, "stop biting. I cannot bear this pain." "You told me you could do whatever you wanted," the ant said firmly. "You told me I was nothing." "I was wrong," the elephant cried desperately. "Please forgive me." The ant remained silent for a moment. Then he spoke again. "You will apologize, not just to me, to every animal you mocked and frightened, one by one, or I will not stop." The elephant trembled. He had never felt so powerless. But now, strength meant nothing. Word spread quickly. The elephant, once feared, now stood with lowered head before the smallest rabbit. "I am sorry," he said softly. The rabbit blinked in disbelief. He turned to the monkey. "I am sorry for spraying water and laughing at you." The monkey crossed his arms. "Do you mean it?" "Yes," the elephant replied honestly. "I have learned my lesson." He turned to the deer. "I mocked you for being small." The deer stepped forward gently. "We never wanted to compete. We only wanted peace." The elephant felt shame deeper than any pain. Inside his trunk, the ant waited. The elephant apologized to each animal, the birds, the squirrels, the frogs, even the smallest beetle. "I was wrong," he repeated again and again. The jungle listened, and something remarkable happened. The animals did not mock him in return. They did not laugh. They simply nodded. Finally, when every apology was spoken sincerely, the ant crawled out slowly from the elephant's trunk. The elephant collapsed to the ground, exhausted and humbled. The ant stood before him. "You see," he said calmly, "size does not decide strength. Circumstances do." The elephant lowered his head respectfully. "You may be small," he admitted, "but today you were greater than me." Days passed. The jungle felt different. The elephant still walked heavily, still towered over others, but his voice had softened. His steps had grown careful. When he drank from the river, he no longer sprayed water recklessly. When smaller animals passed by, he stepped aside gently. The forest slowly trusted him again. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, the elephant saw the ant near the riverbank once more. He bent down carefully. "Thank you," he said quietly. The ant looked up. "For teaching me," the elephant continued. The ant smiled faintly. "Remember this, respect makes everyone stronger." The river shimmered peacefully. The jungle breathed easily, and the elephant understood something he had never considered before. True strength is not measured by size. True strength is measured by character. From that day on, the jungle no longer trembled in fear when the elephant walked. It stood proudly beside him. And the giant who once believed himself invincible learned the greatest lesson of all. Never disrespect someone simply because they appear small, because sometimes the smallest voice can shake the mightiest giant.